paper and website are great.
Yeah. Perfect. Good afternoon, everybody, or wherever else you might be in the world. We're going live right now with Adey's certificate. Sorry, am I doing this right? Certificate. Thank you. And Max and Moose are here to go through any questions you guys have before we launch. Kind of excited for this because it's my first kind of launch party. So looking forward to having some good discussions with these guys and hopefully introducing you to the project and then going a little bit of a deep dive for now. And then when we launch, obviously, hopefully we'll have some fun and have some discussions and go through an open question and answer to see how things are going. So I guess we'll start. If you guys want to introduce yourself, whoever wants to go first, jump in.
Sure. I'm going by Moosefin on Discord, and we are launching a protocol in about 11 minutes. And we just finished an AMA with James Pelton. Yesterday we did one with LHB, Lame Hillbilly, and Pocket Aces, who I've thought has handled his moderation job over at Wealth Mountain very well. And I like the way he conducts himself. I am very honored to have him as our host while we're launching live. And yeah, we're just launching a Wealth Mountain fork that I think I could probably explain in more depth after launch, but I don't know if I'll have time in the next 10 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do some general stuff for now and then go from there. Max, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Max. I have a computer engineering background and I've been around for a while. For this protocol, a lot of hard work went into it. We put this protocol together just for the players. They are the priority, and I think everybody will enjoy
Nice.
the protocol for as long as possible. So I really don't have much to say again after after most said all of that. So
It gets
that's
repetitive doing some of these sometimes, eh?
it.
So I guess if we want to start, we'll maybe go through a couple of things in the white paper if you want to direct me where you want to go, and
Sure,
then
sure.
obviously just before launch we can break and then go back to it.
Yeah, no problem. I don't know if you wanted to pull up the website.
Sure. I guess that's where we're going to need to stab everybody. So I'll put that in the description there. I'll do a live deposit. I'm not going with too much right now, only because well, it's Christmas time, so we got bills. But I do want to possibly add more later. We'll take a look.
Yeah,
Let's see, the
absolutely.
website should put that up there. There you guys go if anybody wants to check that out. And sorry, I guess I need to actually put it up. So let's share screen. Share screen.
So I think the first thing I'd like to cover before we launch, just so people are aware, is maybe briefly go over the reference link system. So it is I believe it's unique. I could be wrong. There's lots of protocols out there, but it's certainly not common. Our reference link system gives the depositor a 3% bonus right after they do their deposit. But the reference link supplier collects 5% of the accumulated accumulated rewards upon withdrawal from the depositor. So to put that more simply, the person who puts the money in gets money right away. The person who brought them to the protocol and showed them the thing, they don't get any money until the depositor gets some money. So I really like this because I think it will help align everybody who is part of the ecosystem to try and promote responsible profit taking. So I'm really excited about how it plays out. Obviously, everything is designed and thought up in one way, and you never know how it's going to play out. But I just wanted to explain that right off the bat so people are aware.
Yeah, exactly. And I do appreciate that. It's kind of a neat little system. And so, again, like you're saying, obviously, the people referring, if it is towards the end of the protocol, there's less value in them shilling it like they would do sometimes, even more, I find, because they're trying to get their last little bit of money they can out of it. And it kind of almost forces more responsible sharing of the project in a sense, which is really, really good. And I do appreciate that. I'm not a huge fan of referral links, but I do like them when they can be done responsibly like this. So that's great.
Thank you.
So, and so, yeah, so if you come to the website, obviously right here, I mean, pretty simple layout. And the nice thing is it does seem to be more around information giving as opposed to just a dashboard, I guess, if you will. So that's great. And as you can see, if you did want to, your referral links there. Obviously, as always, I will throw mine out there at some point. I'm not looking for anybody from your community. So please, anybody from Moose's community or Adey's community, please share amongst yourselves for that stuff. But anybody coming from mine, if you are deciding to get into this, obviously, I'm not going to say no to it. But yeah, so, and then obviously when you're ready, you can approve the contract like normal, and then obviously put in what you're looking to put into the project and go from there. And I guess specifically the one thing to keep in mind is you can put in BUSD and WBNB when launch comes in 5 minutes. And the nice thing there is if you feel the market is still ready for a dip, then obviously you can stick with that. If you are wanting to maybe start building your L1s a little bit in preparation for the future, then this one is not a bad way to go, but you may experience a little bit of a dip in your money. So if you're looking to hold long term, this could be a neat way to go as well. Did you want to say anything more on that?
The only other thing I would say is, as exciting as it is for everybody to pour their money in the first second right after launch, I just want to stress that this is unlike other mining staking contracts that people might be familiar with and might think that this is. There is no algorithm that gives a significant advantage to, or sorry, doesn't give any advantage to the person who invests first. Everybody's investment, whether it's now or the very last day that the contract has any funds in it, every BUSD is worth a BUSD, every WBNB is worth a WBNB. There is no miner units, which is something that if you're not a miner staking familiar person, you won't know what the heck I'm talking about, but don't worry about it. It's not what this is. So I'm going to update the website in 4 minutes. And when I do, I would ask if you could just give me, 5 minutes to do some sanity checks. And maybe I'll let you and Max do most of the talking while I'm doing that. I'm just going to be putting $1 in here and there, verifying that everything works. I have no reason to expect surprises. But the reason I want to do that is to confirm that indeed the new live launch contract is working, because I don't want people to be putting their money into this test contract that we have linked to it right now. We would be able to fish that money out and get people sorted, but it would just be a stressful thing for them, and I want to avoid that if possible.
Absolutely.
Especially since the difference between 5 minutes and 20 minutes is whatever that portion of an entire day is of 1.1%. So we're talking very, 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 very small advantage for anybody who invests in the first 5 minutes. So just give me 5 minutes to make sure that you're putting your funds in the big contract and not the test contract that we've been working with.
You do that, and you can let us know when we can jump. And I guess just to go into that a little bit more in case anybody's watching after the fact, the neat thing about, or the bad thing about some of these contracts, and just to illustrate that a bit, is not to get into names or whatever, but baked beans is an old one that's gone. So when you put in $1, that dollar was worth a certain amount of beans in that case, and that value was really high at first. So if you got in first, you got your $1 was worth, sometimes can be as exaggerated as $1,000 come a week, 2 weeks from the start of the contract. With this one, you're only putting in BUSD or WBNB. It does not get converted to some imaginary token that gets inflated and then deflated into nothingness very quickly sometimes. So definitely more responsible way to build these products up, and definitely do appreciate that kind of idea. So.
Okay, great.
And then Max, did we want to go back to the white paper for a bit?
Yeah, we could do that. Sure. Sorry, I'm also just keeping one eye on the clock.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, because we're down to the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, so the high level description of the protocol is you put your funds in, and there's a stake tax, which is what you pay when you deposit, and then you leave your funds in for whatever amount of time you're comfortable with, and you collect 1.1% per day on your staked position for the first 20 days, and then you collect 3.3% per day on the subsequent 20 days on your stake position, and then on the 41st day and onward, you collect 5.5% on your stake position. And it all just accumulates, and it continues to go up. It stays at 5.5, it never goes higher, but the way that lets the yield change is it slowly, gradually approaches 5.5% per day over an entire year. But it's like a gradual curve. There's other protocols that have had like retro boost where as soon as you get to day 41, for example, everything goes to 5.5%. We don't have that. The reason is it kind of creates a critical point where everyone is mathematically most wise to withdraw. Yep. And it I guess the predictability would be good, but the downside is you've got crazy sale pressure on certain days, and that would result in likely people having knee-jerk reactions going, oh my God, I need to get out. Yep. All responsible thinking. I mean, panic selling isn't something I would shame anybody for in these sorts of protocols. Paying attention to the contract health and the TVL and its trend is the exact point of the game. But by having it as a more gradual rise, it's good. So I'm going to do the update right now. And again, I'd ask if people could just give me 5 minutes to do some final checks. So I've made the change. So if you refreshed your page, you would probably see the launch banner come off. And if you guys don't mind just talking for 5 minutes while I tinker around on the website with my wallet, I would appreciate that.
No worries. I'm just flipping it off here and then we'll go to the. So we'll wait a second before we do any deposits or anything for everybody that's listening if they do desire to get in. And I guess you'll announce on your Discord as well at the same time.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. So the TVL has updated, so that's promising.
Yeah, I see that there.
I'm just going to myself sorted. Max, if you want to talk about any part of the white paper while I'm tinkering around, that's cool.
Okay, I know you want to concentrate. No problem. Okay. Okay.
Where would you like to start?
Okay, I thought if most spoke about the referral link, so sure. I would like to talk about the treasury. For example, is important for people to understand why we jump in from 8 to 20% tax, and the reason for this is to make sure the platform is stabilized. We don't want a situation whereby you blink your eyes and there's nothing on in the TVL. In most cases, the reason why you can have TVL just go from 1 million to 1,000 or to zero is because of a panic withdrawal. And what we discovered is if we have ability to help the contract in a way that people will not be panicked. For example, if we realize that the contract went from 100 to 90%, that is the time we have to take an action in order for others to see that, oh, everything is good. There is no reason for us to be in panic. So that is the main goal for big treasury that we have in place. And another reason why we have to go from 8 to 20 is because to discourage anyone that want to unstake. And this is because we want to put everything in order for people who are ready to play by the rule. example, if you believe in this protocol and you think, okay, it's not the right time for me to withdraw my money according to your own plan. Everybody must have their own plan and their strategy. So when others are withdrawing, if you sit back and wait, the moment the money that was invested by the treasury is recovered back, the contract will go back to 8%. And this is important in order for everyone that want to play by the rule to be able to have higher stake than those that are in panic mode. So this is the reason why we have uh, the tax, the withdrawal tax the way we have it. And this is the reason why we are trying to have a bigger treasury. For us personally, we have nothing from the treasury. Everything from the treasury, apart from marketing, promotion, everything is going back to either the protocol or at the end of the game back to every individual who did not have ROI. So this is important for everyone to know. And another thing that I'm interested in talking about as well, like I explained on JPs.
Oh, I guess
Okay.
people didn't wait. That's okay. All right. Well, I put in $1 and other people put in some money, and that's fine. I have confirmed that the sorry for interrupting you, Max.
That's okay.
I have confirmed that the BUSD side works. Other people have as well, and that's fine.
Okay.
I'm just going to confirm that there's no reason why the other one wouldn't work, but I just would love it if people had that patience. Welcome anybody who did join. Good for you. I'm almost done. I've got to do one more transaction. I'm just sending 0.0001 BNB to the BNB side, and then selected to the right contract, and then I can get back to talking to you guys about the protocol.
Sure.
Okay.
And just to maybe go into a little bit what you were just talking to, Max. So if I understand everything correctly, you have the ability then with the contract, and just for full transparency kind of thing, in case anybody's coming and watching after the fact. So it's starting with a normal 8% tax, and you have the ability to raise it to 20%. Is it a gradual thing, or is it just 8 or 20?
Oh, it's 8 to 20, not gradual.
Okay, so it's just one or the other kind of thing, on or off kind of thing.
On or off.
And with that, then the idea behind that is obviously if there is a potential bank run starting, or you feel like there's some panic hitting or whatever, the idea is to slow that down by increasing the tax.
Exactly.
Okay, which again is handy, because then it gives more people time to properly think about their process, as opposed to just knee-jerk reacting to what they're seeing on a chart, which is oftentimes, unfortunately, what happens. And this can be damaging to both the protocol and the investors, because they're taking money frantically, and nobody has a chance to think about it. So I like that idea. Like all of this stuff, guys, this is a game. This is a gamble. But the neat thing about it is we're experimenting with different ideas and finding out what works in the market. And so that's kind of a neat little way to go about it, and making sure that you're playing the game in that fashion. So with that, I guess, how quickly can you guys react to it? Is it something that's built into the contract, or is it something that you guys have to manipulate and have to be aware of at the time when you need to put it in effect?
So it is a manual lever. It is not automated. That was a choice because we didn't want it to be something that we could theoretically see gamed. I didn't particularly have a specific way that people could game it, but I do know that that's not what we wanted it to serve as far as a purpose goes.
Okay.
So we are going to be doing it manually. And as far as our reactivity and our time reaction, it would probably be a consideration that we would take into consideration of when we would be available, because we would have to be able to anticipate, okay, we put in $5,000 and we expect that $5,000 to be back in the treasury within the next 8 hours. We're available for all that time. We're not going to be sleeping. So like all of those things will be a factor when we decide to do it. in addition to the trend, because we wouldn't want to put money in and then change the unstake tax to 20% and then be asleep while much more is collected. If something like that does happen, I'm pretty sure we'll do something to kind of sort out the folks who maybe paid extra that they shouldn't have. But I don't want to get into those specifics just because it is down the road, and we'll do everything in our power to make it as fair as any reasonable person could consider. But that is our plan, and that's the justification for making it manual. One thing I did want to point out since we are live is the unstaked tax is currently set to 20%. I will fix that as soon as possible, but it would require me and Mac to both do a transaction on our own wallet. So I'm not really wanting to do that in the middle of our AMA. So nobody unstake over the next 40 minutes. If you do, you will pay an additional unstake fee. If you do, we'll have a transaction of it and we will sort you out. But maybe just don't, and then we can avoid that back and forth.
I was going to say nobody should be thinking to do that, but I do know people
to test. But maybe people do like a single test with one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they like to test whether it's working on
that. If you could just wait for your $1 test to happen 1 hour from now, that would be wonderful. And I will send an update out to the Discord group as soon as that is changed.
Okay. And along the same lines, quickly, sorry, is how do we know? Like, is it visually on the website? Because it'd be great. Yeah. Obviously, it's great to update Discord and whatever, but not everybody's looking.
I can show you where to look.
Sure.
Yeah.
Back there. Oops. I need to have links for myself. There we go.
Yeah. So if you go to the little hand that's holding the dollar and dropping it into a bucket, right beside it.
Oh yeah, there we go.
In red tax, it says present unstaked tax fee, or sorry, unstaked fee is 20%.
Perfect.
So you do know going into it, but yeah, just everybody, if they could wait 1 hour, I will get that switched as soon as possible. We move that up and down to record a KYC video, and I left it at 20%. That was my mistake. My apologies.
Guess we'll show a transaction go through. Why not?
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to do when you were doing your transaction was just point out something that people should be aware of.
Can I go ahead and do this part?
Yeah, go for it.
Or I can back up. So there's obviously, like always, there's the approval process.
Yeah. So the approvals, people should know that you can edit your permission. Now, our approval is exactly what you put in the amount, but there are other sites where approval is an infinite amount. Mm-hmm. So you could only want to put in $1, but when you hit approve, it's automatically programmed to have unlimited access to your wallet. So always check that before you hit confirm. Ours does it the way it should, but this is kind of a public service announcement for anybody. And I would encourage people to check it specifically on our website because it's still a good thing to learn how to do.
So does it actually show anything? Because I did notice that it didn't really change. Sometimes it changes the button, but in this case, you're just doing 2 separate buttons.
2 separate buttons, yeah.
So I can be confident. I guess it'll tell me if it didn't somehow approve, but...
Yeah, well, if you increased your amount now to $2, your deposit would fail. It would have like an extremely high tax.
Yeah, exactly. The normal high gas thing that people see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything looks good here. So I will go ahead and process that. And there you go, $100 in. 10% of the. There we go. Oh, look at that! It's already bouncing up. People are getting in there. And I guess we can switch over here and see that. I guess you just did that one, though.
Yeah. So we've got 2100 TVL on the BUSD side and 0.0001 WBNB on that side. That was me. Both sides work. All the other buttons I'm sure work. Everything was untouched from the website side except for the contract which was being referenced at the very bottom of the screen. I also had that contract referencing the old test contract, just trying to help prevent people from entering early. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. It's just to try and give everybody a fair launch as much as possible. So now all of the links at the bottom are accurate. The only one that has a placeholder is KYC pending from CoinSalt. That's something that I'm going to be following up with, I guess, now after launch. but we do have our KYC from Encrypto Security.
Nice.
So I will give an update in Discord as soon as we do get that second KYC, because that's, in my opinion, very important. The reason we were motivated to do KYC was we have that manual lever, the unstaked tax that goes from 8 to 20. And I think anybody who has a manual lever on anything, and they're expecting people to put money in, there needs to be some sort of offering of comfort. So we are offering our KYC because we don't want people to have to feel that we have that control and we have nothing, no ramifications if we use it maliciously. We have no intention, but it's just better to provide that offer to people.
Is that link? Or you said the link is not here yet?
The link at the very bottom with the little spaceman.
Okay.
If you hover your cursor over the text, it's a link to our Discord. So that link is just a placeholder, so
Gotcha.
the code doesn't.
Sorry, as I clicked it, shouldn't have.
Yeah. But yeah, all the other links are accurate. They go to what they say they're going to go to, and I'll get that one sorted out as soon as possible. I am in discussions with LHB to get KYC by him as an additional bonus on top of CoinSalt. I'm in discussion with other parties just in the event that for whatever reason my KYC doesn't come through fast enough for CoinSalt. We are focused on that, but we're happy that we're launching with one KYC in place.
Perfect. And then other than that, obviously, like, I guess, did you want to walk through the website or go back to the white paper? What do you think is best for you guys to explain everything? I know it's been explained a couple of times with the two other AMAs you did, but in case someone coming straight
we
here.
want to try and give everybody the full picture. So I'd love it if we could get through the white paper. It's looks like you're invested, so congratulations, welcome. And anybody who decides to join, welcome. I honestly wasn't paying too close attention to what Max said, so I don't know what you guys covered and what you guys still have us to go over.
So I guess we went fairly well through the fact that you guys can adjust the taxes from 8 to 20 when it comes to withdrawal, and then some minorly through the referral link. And I think I kind of wrapped that up again. But the big thing here, before we move on, I guess, and then we can talk about everything else, your referral link basically helps the person that's putting money in. And I was really dumb. I meant, and I thought about it, but then when you're live, you forget. I meant to go into your Discord and ask somebody to put that in so that I could actually get that bonus. But anyways, it is what it is. And then, which is pretty cool. So you only get giving the benefit to the person that's coming into the protocol, and then the benefit to the person doing the advertising for you or trying to talk about your product or project is going to get that benefit in the long term when they do the withdrawals. So that's a really neat. I don't think I've seen that anywhere. And I appreciate the difference. Hopefully that will bring to the protocol's longevity, so that the shillers aren't just dumping on everything and pulling out from the contract basically by just chilling and getting their ROI as quick as possible, which is neat.
Yeah, thanks. I'm pretty proud of that. I hope it has the effect that I'm anticipating, and I'm hoping that people fork that specifically because I think it's wicked.
And sorry, I guess we'll quickly ask that because we do have a question in there, Nate. Thanks for coming by. But was I supposed to stake my thing, or did that happen automatically?
I saw a deposit of 100. Does Pocket Aces now need to stake 90? Oh, it's automatically staked. Yeah. So actually, if you go back to the website, we could show how it displays, just so folks are aware.
Perfect.
Gary Chung, I approved, but I cannot deposit. So if there are technical issues, I think that's something that I'm happy to help you with as soon as this thing ends. Don't feel discouraged that you're not invested right away, because I think a half hour within a full day you're missing out on.
And I guess to make sure that a couple of things he could, I guess, check right now is making sure that he actually had the approval spend transaction go through, and then in turn that should open up that one. That would be his one kind of technical support of his own that he could check out. And the idea
you've got my deposit, and you've got the little hand dropping into the bucket, and it says 90.
Yeah, there we are.
So that's your position.
Perfect.
So that means you know that you're connected, and then your accumulated rewards are already starting to rack up. I think you're at 0.3 cents. So you're on your way to Gravy Town.
Woo. Perfect. And then in turn, is there any minimums to me compounding?
So I guess the only minimum is as long as it shows up on the thing. You can compound every 5 minutes, but keep in mind that because the yield goes up if you don't withdraw and you don't compound your rewards, it's actually not beneficial from a mathematical perspective to compound until you get up in towards about day 50. So something worth everybody considering before they try and compound and do this a little bit differently. I'm not saying that people can't necessarily find a different way that's better than anything I've thought of, but maybe take at least a day to do some math before you unleash your plan.
So I guess what you're saying there, just again to put my own spin on it, kind of thing. So with the compounding, if you wait, for instance, until there's a bump up in the time that you're in the protocol, your compounding will be affected by that new percentage kind of thing yield at that point.
Yeah,
Because it's
so
going to be starting from,
after
or is
20
it starting
days,
from the day before?
no, after 20 days from now, you'll notice that it'll actually show current earning percentage will go from 1.1% to 3.3%.
Okay.
And you'll just notice that you'll start collecting more.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So a couple little things that you can kind of get your own strategies from. All right, so we'll head back to the white paper there and have a little look. Where do you want me to go for now?
So you've got yield up. Did you guys talk about how these figures are calculated at all?
No.
Okay, so this is not financial advice. It's just a graphic to give people an idea, but I think it's a good way to help formulate a plan. So as you can see, as time goes on, the risk gets closer to red and further from green, and that's just the nature of the way these protocols work. If our yield was 5 times, 10 times higher than it is, then the red would be moving further up onto the chart. And if our yield was 1/10 of what it is, then the green would be moving down. But those are all just approximations based on how long other protocols with similar yields have lasted. And it is by no means a suggestion or a guarantee that the protocol won't completely implode on itself in 60 days or that it won't last 364 days.
Yeah.
It's just a likelihood, a probability. But you really won't know the contract health projected out 120 days with any accuracy without paying attention over the next 120 days.
Yeah, exactly.
So a big focus of our Discord community is going to be helping to encourage people to look at the BSC scan. And if people don't know what that is, that's where you go to look at the contract directly. And there's a lot of information in the read contract tab on BSC scan for every contract, not just ours, where you can extract information that you might not realize you are able to get to. So we're going to try and get everybody aware of what they can look at, what's available to them, and help people feel that they're making more informed decisions. And again, the CI on the far right of the chart is contract interactions. So if you were to stay for 100 days, for example, you would deposit, you would then compound after 50 days, you would then withdraw rewards after 50 more days, and then you would unstake your either of the two positions and then unstake the last remaining position. So that's 5 contract interactions, and you would take your $100 initial deposit, and you would be able to take out $498.31. Obviously, that's based on exactly 24 hours on the 100th day, but it's taking into account the 5% withdrawal tax and the 8% unstaked tax, which are assumptions because, as we said before, the unstaked tax could be 20% if you're in debt phase. But it's just something to give people an idea and potentially a way for them to formulate a plan. And obviously, it's everybody's choice how to participate. And I think I said at the beginning, but the graphic is not financial advice.
None of this is financial advice. And again, this one here is kind of a game, just like Wealth Mountain was, and it's great to not have very much interaction with the contract, and it leaves it a little bit more set it and forget it. But it's still advisable that you keep your eye on a contract, just like any other protocol in the space, and make sure that you're being involved in the Discord, and especially if you guys are being as transparent you are and putting all this data out for them, it does lend it to at least being interactive in the Discord and keeping aware of what's going on in the protocol for your own safety and the safety of your investment, or whatever you want to call it, your gamble. I guess with this, and not to make us bounce around the white paper, which I think everyone should read before they do anything anyways, but maybe just in flow of what we're talking about right now, where is the revenue being generated from? Because obviously a lot of this stuff is Ponzi-nomics, I presume, but I presume you're also going to try and gain some revenue somewhere to help kind of alleviate the pressure on the contract going forward, correct?
Well, if you go to Treasury, I can talk about that a bit. Really, the only way we're going to try and provide some relief to the contract is with the Treasury in the form of tax back. I think Max did touch on this, but as far as investing the Treasury in order to improve the longevity of the project, it's very unlikely that we're going to do that. And my main reason for that is I think that there's a lot of extremely intelligent people that are investing in all these DeFi projects. And I think that they are good to be responsible for their own investments and risks that they take on. And our Treasury is being treated 99% of the time as a war chest to help when the TVL goes down, and reinvigorate people's confidence. And then finally, when the TVL goes to zero, we will redistribute the entire treasury to anybody who registers on Discord with us that they did not reach ROI. We would have to obviously verify that fact, but it wouldn't be very difficult. It's easy to look up in the blockchain using BSC scan. So we would need a very, very unique opportunity that would not have very much risk for us to feel comfortable using the treasury to quote unquote diversify. It's just not something that really aligns with our goals. I think that if people want to diversify their investment, they should do that themselves. And I have no interest in gambling other people's money that creates our treasury. And I can understand that some might disagree with that choice, but I just want that to be as clear as possible to everyone.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I guess there's two ways of looking at it, I guess, because you're risking, I guess, in the sense that if the money's not growing, it's going to be hard to pay out the interest that you're creating or generating, other than through taxes, which I guess I get that point. But if there's no more money, then is it not 100% Ponzi then? And like you will, like how is I'm just trying to think that through my head is how you're going to be able to pay yourselves. And as well as the investors back as a whole with the new money. I guess it'll just mean that no matter what, if they're not smart about how they play the game, they're going to be short some of their initial if they don't get out in the right time. Does that make sense?
Correct. I would agree with that statement.
Okay. I would like to touch on the treasury explanation. That was exactly the plan. But there is one thing that he mentioned and that I would like to emphasize on. If there were to be a very rare opportunity that we think is good enough, maybe to invest whatever we like to invest in the treasury, that will not be our call. It will be the community call. Mm-hmm. Okay. All we need to do is to just tell them that, okay, this seems to be a great opportunity. What do you guys think? And whatever the community says, that's what is going to be what we decided.
Yeah, and that's a good idea too. My only concern, like I say, is just trying to make sure that the risk is mitigated as much as possible. And there are, I think, ways to possibly invest less risky, I guess, if you will, when it comes to things like Pancake Swap or whatever, where you're potentially at least adding some type of revenue to the dollars you have sitting there without putting, I guess, it at risk. Because there's ways to, but again, I guess no matter what, you're right, there is risk even in that. So it's kind of one of those double-edged swords, which way you want to go and how you want to protect investors as well as protect their potential growth that they're creating inside of this protocol.
Yeah, I don't doubt it's going to be a very, very common part of the discussion in our Discord, and we're not going to completely shut down the possibility. I just wanted to explain our stance and the reason behind it.
Yeah. No, and it's good to be prepared for that thing, because you got to make sure you're ready for all the questions, because you'll get them. Discords are, as you've seen in other ones, they're good, but then how you handle the people that come in with questions, you need to be prepared for all of them and help identify them. And as you've seen, like you mentioned with me and some of the Discords I manage, is I'm very accepting of the questions and happy to have a discussion around them, as long as they're not just running in to spread negativity for the sake of negativity. So that's good, as long as you're ready for that. That's good.
If I may say, this is a lunch party. We're supposed to have some kind of music on the background.
Yeah.
Just joking.
Exactly. All right, where do we want to go from here?
So we covered treasury, we covered yield. I think we've explained risk enough. We can, show the page, but it's just a bunch of text. There's no actual graphics. But in short, if you put money in and you fail to remove any money prior to the contract going to zero, you will lose all your money. Yeah. That is the rules of the game, and I think it's very important people understand that before they come in.
Absolutely.
But that's really all that says. Just tries to explain it maybe a bit less bluntly than I just did. And then if you go down to the one below yield, so I'm looking at a smaller screen than I should, so I'm not even able to read it. Okay, dev reward. So this is a good thing for us to talk about. So similar to the way the RefLink supplier collects 5% of any withdrawn rewards, the dev team wallet, it accumulates 7.5% of what the accumulated rewards, which is either withdrawn or compounded, is. Okay. So if you took that $100 that you just invested, and we fast forwarded 100 days in time, and you decided, you know what, I'm going to compound, or I'm going to withdraw that $120 that I've accumulated, we would get 7.5% of $120 put into our UI. Well, it's actually into the dev rewards, and it's just shown in our UI. Yeah. And we would be able to collect that manually after the fact, but you would not lose 7.5%. So what that means is the impact of your choice to withdraw $120 would be 95% goes to you, 5% goes to your your referral supplier, and 7.5 additional percent would be going to the dev reward wallet. So the impact of all of our rewards is not 100%, but 107.5%.
Yeah, and so it's draining a little bit extra out of the contract, not out of your rewards, in order to pay you guys or to put it into marketing or whatever you choose to do with it, kind of thing. Or is it just going to you guys? Sorry,
it does not go directly. It goes to a dev reward tally, and we will be collecting that every day or more often, but more than likely every day. And we're going to be using that data to show a representation of the community sentiment. If and I do explain this further down in the white paper, so I don't want to get into it with too much detail, but it's a useful piece of data to see how many people each day have either withdrawn or compounded when you compare that to the change in the TVL of the contract. Yeah. Because it shows activity within and increase or drop of the TVL. And there's other pieces of data that we want to try and chart them all together and see if we can paint a picture that actually starts to show warning signs of when contract health is at risk. And the goal is that when we do that effectively, people are more inclined to take responsible profits. And if you do that on a consistent basis, it's possible that you actually increase the longevity of your protocol purely through not celebrating ultra greedy, ultra degen approaches.
Okay.
But there's no way we can convince everyone to do the way we want to. It's just our plan and our mindset and our hope.
Gotcha. And just along those lines, I guess while we're on that, and I'll roll that back out. So when it comes to my choices that I can make, I'm kind of, I guess, limited in a sense. Like I can't pull out some of my stake in order to maybe be a little bit more, even more responsible with how I'm depleting the contract. I'd have to either choose between my rewards or my stake. Well, and I guess all in that way. If I choose stake, I guess I'm choosing all, correct?
So when collecting your withdrawal, your accumulated rewards, it's all or nothing.
Okay.
When unstaking, if you have multiple positions, like you just put in $100, if 5 hours from now you put in another $100, you could take out one of those $200 without impacting your other $100.
Okay.
However, before you do any unstake, you must withdraw all accumulated rewards. And there is a warning that pops up on our website, and there is a warning in my tutorial of our BSC scan, how to connect with the website on BSC scan if you don't want to use our website. But there won't be any warning on BSC scan. So that's just something we need people to be aware of before they go and unstake tokens from their positions.
Okay. And Gary's got this question here. So investors gets 3% reward, a referral bonus. If we use a referral, we can stake that also, or does that get automatically added in?
It does not get automatically added in. And if you don't mind going back to the website, I can point
Sure.
them out to exactly where they can see that reward and where it's waiting for them.
Give me 2 seconds because I wanted to get a backup copy because I just share the one screen to make it easy, but then I realized I didn't have a backup of the website copy. Let's just do that. Bring that over. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so if you scroll down, the little phone with the speaker coming out of it.
Right there.
Yeah, so right there it's showing what would be your reward from referrals. So anybody who used a referral link, they would be able to stake that amount or withdraw that amount. And if you stake it, you would then have two separate stakes. And I'm going to be continuing to do testing on the test contract because there have been a couple questions that have come through that I'm fairly certain I know the answer to. But I would rather verify through transaction hashes and get back to them with complete sure answer.
Okay.
Just because I don't want to put something in a YouTube video that I'm obviously not be able to change later. So like somebody asked if you put a new stake in, does it reset your rewards? And the answer I'm 99.999% sure is it does reset you from, if you happen to be up at 3.3, it brings you down to 1.1. And the reason it does that is because it wouldn't be able to give you the rewards in segregated form.
Okay.
But before I say that definitively, let me do a fact check because.
Sure. And I wish I had just so we could have illustrated things. I wish I had been gone by what I was planning on doing and gotten a referral link from your community, which was silly of me. But so realistically speaking, if I had have used a referral link, I would have seen $3 here basically,
$3.
and I could have chosen to stake or withdraw it.
Correct.
Okay. And then yeah, so that makes sense. And if I do use a referral link, I guess if I do another $100 kind of thing later on, and I use a referral link, will that work still, or because I've already started my contract going kind of thing, I'm done?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
So if I was to do another $100 referral right now, and I was to actually use a referral link up top, would it then accumulate that $3 for that next $100 deposit and give that person? Okay, and it would only give that person the referrals on that stake when I pull out of it, not all of them, I presume. Then, eh?
All of your rewards that you withdraw go to your referral link supplier.
Okay.
For forever.
Okay, so theoretically, if I wanted to support somebody in the community, then I could do another dollar technically. Well, maybe not dollar, but okay, I could do $1 right now, kind of thing, and then at least get somebody on as my referrer, so they can take the benefit.
That's correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, if somebody in your community wants to throw down a link in their Discord, I'll grab it and maybe throw a couple bucks in again. Other than that, okay, so we want to go back to the
I think Max got dropped out.
What's that?
I think Max got dropped out. Is he here?
He's still in the room.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's just my screen's not displaying it. You're very quiet, Max.
Hopefully people are hearing him. I do find him a little quiet on the actual speaker when I hear him, but on my speaker, but hopefully everybody's okay and can turn their volume up and down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've gone through all of that in detail. And again, if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to bring more people in. We've got probably another 10 minutes. I don't want to make this run too long, but maybe if we got a few more details we want to get through here. And then if there's ever anything else, just let me know. We can try and do a follow-up video as I show my progress, I guess, in the protocol. Happy to do that for you guys as things go on. And I can maybe reach out to you if I ever do one of those. And if there's things that you're having common questions in your Discord, don't hesitate to let me know, and I can make sure I put it in a future video kind of thing. Anywhere you want to go on the white paper now to carry on with the conversation?
The last place we're going to go is the final section, security, because I believe we've covered everything. But I just want to talk a little bit about our security. So our owner wallet and our treasury wallet are multi-sig wallets that require 2 of 2 signatures. So Max owns half, I own half, and that keeps us aligned on every decision we make with the treasury and the owner wallet. The only thing we can do with the owner wallet is that unstaked tax lever of 8 to 20%. And obviously we can do more things with the treasury wallet because it's just funds that are sitting in there. There is a dev wallet, which is what we launched the protocol from, and it is my wallet. I own that. So there's no additional points of influence or points of entry into our wallets. And then the website is in my control exclusively, but Max owns the domain. So he gives me one-time permission codes, so that way we both own the website. Yeah, it's just me and Max. So there's no additional parties that have any influence on anything.
Awesome.
Other than the community, obviously.
And Flo looks like they jumped in with us, so there we go. Thanks for coming. All right, so we've kind of gone through, I think, kind of everything. Obviously, like we've said before, do your own research. Definitely come and look at the white paper. It looks like they put a lot of effort into this, which is great. A lot of detail with a few illustrations to help kind of get the point across, which is always great. And I think, like I said, some highlights. The referral link system, I think, is definitely very different than what I've seen out there, which is awesome and something a little bit more responsible to the longevity and health of the contract, in my opinion. So I hope, like you've said, I think, Moose, I do agree. I think it would be neat if people kind of took some notes from this side of it if they're making a protocol of their own. I think there's definitely some benefit to that. And Flo did come with a question, so thank you for that. Let's take a look here. So could you clarify, according to the white paper, compounding fee is 0. However, doesn't the compound amount create a fresh deposit that is to be taxed 10% at that time? Do you want to talk to that?
Yeah, I did just answer it in text, but no, it does not get taxed 10%, but any stake is subject to an unstaked tax. So you create a stake, and then by compounding, you don't pay any tax up front, but when you decide to take that stake out later, you will pay 8 to 20%, depending on if the contract is in the debt phase.
Okay, gotcha. And I guess, is there kind of a figure or a percentage or any guidelines you're taking for that potential tax differential, or is it just more based on kind of how it's looking and feeling at the time? Or
like, you mean, why would we decide to inject funds from the treasury into the contract?
More the tax going from 8 to 20, but by all means, that's definitely a good topic as well.
Yeah, the tax going from 8 to 20 is to just take funds out of the people who are looking to completely exit and save it for the people who are intending to stay. And that's really all it is.
Okay. Yeah, and that's going to be when there's extra sell pressure, I guess, and you'll react in the moment kind of thing based on that.
And like, if we're in the point of the contract life that it's in nuke mode, we're probably not likely to blow the entire treasury in that moment, because it, in our opinion, is better to redistribute the treasury to all who have missed out on the ROI. So that treasury injection is something that's likely going to happen on the way up, and maybe only once on the way down, but not nuking the entire treasury, because then you're still only giving the funds back to people who happen to be awake within
and paying attention at the moment, which I appreciate. That's definitely a smarter way
so
to do it. And I guess
there is a balancing act there.
Yeah, exactly. And along those lines, I guess too, would there ever be a point where if things just really aren't working now, and where you would just kind of shut down the contract and then hand it out to people that have not ROI'd, and anybody that's ROI'd would just be hopefully happy with what they've gotten, kind of thing, out of using the protocol?
Yeah, do you mean hand everything out by the treasury?
Yeah,
From,
and just stop. But you guys control the handout as opposed to, and just equally divide it amongst, or I don't know, obviously equally, or
that is the plan. When
okay,
the contract goes to zero, we're going to ask everybody who feels they did not ROI to send their wallet to us in Discord, and we will verify each person's claim. And it'll probably be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It kind of depends on if we feel enough people have contributed their ROI application.
yeah,
And it's obviously something we'll have a better timeline on when we reach that point, because I feel like that is at least more than 20 days away,
absolutely.
probably more than 70 days away. Not financial advice, just ballpark. But when we get to that point, we'll be very definite in our timelines, and the goal will be, as soon as we get everybody's information, we verify everybody's information, we hand out the entirety of the treasury to all those people in as an equal a way as we can.
Yeah.
And we will communicate exactly how we do it, but we will obviously not give personal information about this person invested this person invested that. It'll be everybody just got 28% of their ROI back.
Gotcha.
And
Okay, that's great. Yeah, yeah.
that might be 35%, might be 14%, might be 67%. All depends on how treasury compares to the total amount, quote unquote, lost.
Okay, so there's kind of two ways that you use it. If the contract seems to be getting healthier again, you might inject it to help other people and hopefully not cause another run on, but basically inject some to help everybody keep growing the treasury and give it more. It almost gives it kind of a like a supercharge, and helps people kind of become more comfortable and go, okay, I guess I can get back into this. Might bring existing investors that got out back in. It might bring new investors in at that point. So it could kind of give it a second wind, so to speak, or it'll be used kind of to shut things down if we're at the point of no return, kind of thing, is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, so Gary's just asking, any way to check who's used your referral link?
Yes, actually there is. I don't know if I could do it very well on this on this
Live stream?
live stream, but if you come to Discord and identify yourself, I can help you with that.
So is it going to be on the website, or is it something that they can
So
access?
it's in BSC scan, so you can check each wallet and which referral link they are using.
Oh,
So
okay.
you would obviously have to know what their wallet is. If you don't know that, then I'd have to get back to you on how to determine that.
Okay, so maybe it's something, if you wanted down the road, again, if I do a follow-up video, it might be worth us going through that, and maybe I can illustrate that for people at another point.
But if anybody puts anybody's website, anybody's wallet in on the read contract, and I could get the name of it out there, but it's better for me to just maybe provide a graphic as soon as possible. And it shows which referral link they used. So that's one way you can figure it out.
Because yeah, sure, I'm sure a lot of people, especially for instance myself, I don't know who's going to go into my website and say kind of use it, kind of thing, right? So it's hard to say for sure. But awesome. Anything else you wanted to touch on? Because I think we are hitting that hour mark. Was there any other comments you wanted to make, or anything else to go from here?
Max did message me. I just missed it because I was focusing on our chat. That he had to step out for a few minutes, so I think he just might have popped back in. But I just want to thank you for your time and the opportunity to talk with your community and go through the live launch with you. And I'm glad it went smoothly. I'm glad some folks decided to join in. I'm glad some people were so excited that they joined in before I finished my test, because I appreciate that show of trust. And we'll be doing a lot of communication with our community moving forward, and we're looking forward to hearing back from you and connecting with you in the future.
Yeah, sounds awesome. And so, as always, guys, and I guess I mean we see this on every channel, but the call to action really is check out the Discord, have a chat. Let's start growing that community. If you're interested in this, that's always the greatest way to kind of give attention to it. If you can, like and subscribe, so more people get a wind of the video and can come in and get a closer look with us. And other than that, any other questions? I guess send them. The Discord's probably the best point of contact for you guys.
Yeah, Discord is our main hub.
Awesome. And other than that, I guess we'll close it out there. Any closing remarks? I guess we kind of did that, but
no, let's go.
Well, yeah, exactly. LFG. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I do appreciate the opportunity to do kind of a launch party. That was a neat little new thing. Obviously, always would love to have more people here, but that does, I mean, it is the market. So hopefully some people will take a look at the video, as well as James Pelton. And I think you had, oh, frig. I'm going to, Hillbilly.
Lame Hillbilly.
Yeah, thank you. Jeez, I do know the guy, and I don't know him personally, but I do appreciate his visions and how he tries to go about things too. He's another responsible person in this industry, which is always great to have. So I appreciate their content. I definitely watch the other two. So thanks so much, guys, and have yourselves a wonderful afternoon or whatever, wherever you are.
Thank you.